Hi everyone, it's Louis Fernandez here with the LRF Group with Berkshire Hathaway with EWM, and today I wanted to read to you the report that came out in Housing Wire about the forecasts for the real estate market for next year. And they have a pretty interesting article here, actually, from Realtor.com, what they're forecasting sales and appreciation for next year in general is going to be. So let's kind of review that. It says here, home sales has been in the doldrum this year, and Realtor.com's 2020-25 forecast doesn't see that getting much any better next year. The real estate portal projects that existing home sales in 2025 will clock in at here above 4 million. Well, that's a 1.5% growth relative to 2024. It's still below historical averages. And so here are the home sale forecasts for 2025 by the National Association of Realtors. They have it at 4.9 million. Fannie Mae is projecting around 4.5 million. And Realtor.com is projecting 4 million in sales for next year. Now, the Realtor.com says 2025 forecast, however, it expects housing inventory to grow by 11.7%, which would bring month supply from 3.7 to 4.1. Economists consider month supply between 4.6 to be that of a balanced market. To be honest with you, and for us, we as realtors in the trenches, we consider anything less than 6 months actually as a seller's market as opposed to a balanced market. SSFYI. The housing market in 2025 will be something of a wild card after the re-election of former President Donald Trump, as he's proposing sweeping change on the campaign trail that could upend many aspects of the economy. His proposal of tariffs of 25% on Mexico and Canada and additional 10% tariff in China could threaten an inflation by the which the Federal Reserve is projecting that could occur. If that happens, interest rates are going to go higher. But nevertheless, the appreciation of homes still for 2025 is still going to increase. Goldman Sachs here has it at 4.4%. Housing Wire has it at 3.5%. And the National Association of Realtor has it about under 2%. While the issue here with inflation, if it's true that the tariffs could impact it, and also, by the way, the deportation of undocumented immigrants could cause a problem in the labor supply for home building. All of that could put added pressure on the cost of purchasing a home. And but I think the biggest issue here that we have to look at is the fact that what's keeping prices high and appreciation rate still continuing to increase nationwide, and for the most part, in almost in every sector, is the fact that we have what we call the golden anchor effect, whereby many homeowners that purchased their homes some years back ago, when the interest rates were down at 2 to 3 or 4%, they may now wish to upgrade or downgrade, but they're considering then jumping into an interest rate of 7%. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So they'll probably stay where they are. So that keeps the inventory supply at a minimum, and it keeps on driving the price of homes higher. Now, traditionally, interest rates as interest rates go up, it does affect prices, and that it will eventually start driving prices downward, because sellers who are on the market, they've got to make price concessions, and so they'll start dropping their prices to get their property moved. But what we're seeing and what we have seen is that some of these sellers decide, you know what, if I don't get the number I want, I'll take my property off the market because I'm okay really where I am. I mean, with the current interest rates, which I have, and I can wait for a better economic climate to put it back on the market. And so then again, that impacts the appreciation in terms of homes value. The other thing too, as a buyer, you have to be worried about is that even though if you can get the property at a lower price, if the interest rates are still significantly high, you're probably paying still more for that property in the long run because of the rate. So the thing that I convey to my clients is that who are buying is that don't wait for, hey, that's for, there's no, by the way, there's no economic market crash in real estate. So all these other gurus out there who's telling you the market's going to crash, that's not going to happen. There's nothing here that we've been seeing in the last few years that's an indication of that. There are certain pockets across the country that there have been more of a significant price reduction than others, absolutely. But even in those areas, for the most part, they're not even at the pre-pandemic levels in terms of inventory and price point for the most part. So unless you're going to be jumping around from one end of the country to another region just to get a little cheaper, a less expensive property, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's not really a good way of forecasting in terms of making strategic planning in terms of purchasing and selling homes. Even in Florida, our inventory has gone up, but yet Florida homes here are appreciating in Miami-Dade County at a clip around 5% for single-family homes. The condo market in Florida has been hit, and there is some good value to pick up there. But then again, that's also depending upon the age of the building. If you're looking at buildings that are 30 years and older, the appreciation of those buildings have been by 21%. But they're still 40% more expensive than what they were 4 or 5 years ago, right? So this is the other flip side of that. Buildings that are less than 30 years, especially those between 10 and 15 years, the condo buildings, they're appreciating at 9% clip. So this is the thing that as a buyer, if you're looking into condo markets here in South Florida or in Florida in general, you have to be aware of, yes, you can probably get a better deal in an older building in terms of the price point, but then you're faced with all the issues that you have to pay with the higher maintenance and special assessments, etc. So I think that if you're looking and thinking about buying, don't waste any time, because next year, even if the interest rates drop, which by the way they're forecasting that could happen, we could get down. Right now we're currently just under 7%. If we happen to get down close to 6%, you're going to have a lot of competition. And in the inventory that exists, what's going to happen is basically it's going to dry up, and what's available, sellers are going to ask top dollar. So it's taking from Peter to give to Paul. So if what I would suggest is that if you're thinking about buying, don't think too long. Get your ducks on the line and the roll, what have you, and our market picks up again in January, and you'll see more availability of properties throughout the country. People get their properties back on the market in January, February, and March. That first quarter is very important, but then again, you're going to be also looking at a lot of buyers that are also coming back into the market. So I would be ready to pull the trigger the first few weeks of January and start looking for homes if you're a buyer. And if you're a seller, you basically can call your shots. You really can. You can put your property now on the market today, and you have less competition because, again, as a seller, most people take their properties off the market because they don't want to be bothered during the holidays. But the buyers that are looking in November and December are very serious buyers, and because there's already a lack of availability of properties. If you're a seller, you have your property available in December, guess what? The people who are knocking on your door are serious buyers, and you're going to get the most of that traffic. So these are things to consider depending upon where you are. And if you're renting, well, renting could be an affordable alternative. There's no doubt. But remember, um, for every year you rent, it takes about 5 years to regain that loss in terms of equity value. So think about that, because you are paying you're paying a mortgage, but you're paying someone else's mortgage, and you want to build equity. And then real estate is still one of the best ways and vehicle methods to do that. So I hope this information was helpful. If you're thinking about moving down to Florida or anywhere across the country, look us up. We are a relocation specialist team. We're licensed not only here in Florida, but also in New York, and we can assist you in the sale of properties over there or anywhere else, to be honest with you, because we've got teams and agents and colleagues all across the country. Thank you so much for watching out for us, because we're watching out for you in the best interest of your property. Till next time, all the very best. Bye-bye.